This incredible vocalist is most recognized for her unique voice, an elastic and vivacious soprano that embodies soul, funk, rock, and any other style that elevated her spirits and inspired her creativity. She deserves to be recognized for this, as well as for her other talents as a singer, composer, arranger, producer, and multi-instrumentalist over 3 decades. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Teena Marie. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push the notification bell to be sure you won't miss on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Mary Christine Brocker was born on March 5, 1956, in Santa Monica and reared in the Mission Hills and Venice regions of Los Angeles. She tap danced on an episode of the Beverly Hillbillies when she was 8 years old in 1964, and she was involved in musical theater in high school, but she was initially drawn to a wide spectrum of music. She taught herself to play numerous instruments, beginning with guitar, bass, and congas, and before finishing high school, she was leading her first band. Hal Davis spotted Teena while she was playing in a band with her best friend Mickey Hearn and brother Tony Brocker. Davis, an accomplished writer and producer, had the band audition for Motown's Berry Gordy, who cast them in the film The Innkeeper. The project was canceled, although Teena was on the Motown roster by the end of 1975. And Teena spent the following few years producing with Ronnie McNair, Winston Monsique, Kenny Kerner, and Richie Wise, and Gordy himself. None of it was released, but Teena did co-write the song, Just As Long As There Is You, which appeared on Tata Vega's 1976 album Full Speed Ahead. Teena was then connected with rising funk star Rick James by manager Winnie Jones, who works for Motown publishing business Joe Beat. Teena's debut album was created with the help of James Stone's City Band after the two struck up an instant affinity. Wild and Peaceful, released on Motown subsidiary Gordy, like James' output, hit Billboard's Soul Albums list in early May 1979, and a couple weeks later, lead single I'm a Sucker for Your Love was on the Hot Soul Singles chart, rising to number 8. As with most of Teena's later albums, Wild and Peaceful remained on the charts for 6 months. Despite its success, which peaked at number 18 on the Soul chart, Teena's album only hinted at her potential. It was mostly a showcase for her voice as well as James's composition and producing skills. Teena co-wrote just one song, I'm Gonna Have My Cake and Eat It Too. I'm a Sucker for Your Love was meant for Diana Ross, but when Motown rejected James' proposal to make a whole album for the former Supreme, he returned it. And Teena received another Motown composition credit in 1979 with Happiness, which was recorded by Apollo. Listeners thought Teena Marie was black based on her voice and the lack of accompanying images on the Wild and Peaceful box. And Motown's prediction of Teena's growing audience was not entirely accurate, as proven by a promotional tour scheduled in support of Sean Cassidy, the makeup, presentation, and reaction of the 1980 releases. Lady T and Irons in the Fire altered these notions, as well as the assumption that Teena was only a young protege. Teena went to Richard Rudolph, the husband and musical partner of one of her idols, for the first of those 2 albums. Teena and Rudolph co-produced the album and co-wrote many tracks, including the bouncing dance floor funk blast Behind the Groove, which reached number 21 on the Soul chart. Teena wrote and co-arranged Aladdin's Lamp, a tune that bears some similarities to Repperton's work from a decade earlier. Teena maintained another link to her roots with You're All the Boogie I Need. The record also features the speaking voice of Repperton and Rudolph's then young daughter Maya Rudolph. Lady T was barely 6 months old when Teena's third album was published. Teena's second top 10 soul entry, her first top 40 pop success, I Need Your Lovin', From Irons in the Fire landed at number 9 on the Soul album list. Teena had another fantastic year in 1981. She collaborated with Rick James on the black radio hit Fire and Desire off the multi-platinum Album Street songs, and worked with another Motown star, Ozone, on Gigalette. Between the two appearances, she published Irons in the Fire. While Teena's records are all loaded with thanks to her influences, Irons in the Fire is especially full of mentions and tributes to the Marvelettes, Aretha Franklin, Donny Hathaway, and John Lennon, among others, as well as background vocals from The Temptations. Teena drew inspiration from Blondie's Rapture to rap on the number 3 Soul Smash Square Biz, where she also mentions numerous other influences. It Must Be Magic reached number 23 on Billboard's main album chart, and Teena's highest performing record was the first Teena LP certified gold by the RIAA, which was nominated for a Grammy in the category of Best R&B Vocal Performance by a female, but lost to Aretha Franklin. Despite her expanding list of accolades, Teena's relationship with Motown grew so strained that she filed a lawsuit and established the Brocker Initiative, sometimes known as the Teena Marie Law, which asserts that a label cannot retain an artist under contract while withholding new recordings. And Teena subsequently stated that it helped Luther Vandross and the Mary Jane Girls break out of similar label difficulties. Then Teena departed Motown and got a deal with Epic, which allowed her to start her own publishing firm. Her second label career began in 1983 with Robbery, the first album for which she composed all of the content herself. Teena added a bit more rock and Latin jazz to her mix and with Fix It and Midnight Magnet. She landed 2 additional singles in the top 40 of Billboard's Black Singles list. Teena has struggled to achieve pop success, but the lead song from her next album propelled her into the Hot 100 Top 10 for the first time. Lover Girl peaked at number 4, propelling the Rockin' Parent album Star Child to gold status and earning Teena her second Grammy nomination for Best R&B Vocal Performance by a Female. After producing and writing for her Epic signed backup band QT Hush, she experimented with a harsher sound for Emerald City, which had a batucada distraction in 1986. Naked to the World and Ivory, released in 1988 and 1990, showcased that she could perform a smoother modern R&B sound with a new Jack Swing feel. These 3 last Epic albums generated 7 charting singles, including the instant classic ballad Ooh La La, a hot black singles chart topper that was interpolated the next decade with the Fugees. Teena's 1994 self-published album Passion Play came after a few years of silence, and another 10 years elapsed before she released another album. Teena spent much of her time raising her kid. In the early 2000s, the artist found an odd but extremely friendly label home with Cash Money Records, a hugely successful rap company located in New Orleans. In 2004, she released La Donna for Cash Money, followed by Sapphire in 2006. Both entered the R&B and hip-hop charts, peaking at number 3. The former also went to number 6 on the main album chart, Teena's highest showing, and featured her 3rd Grammy-nominated recording, I'm Still in Love. The Cash Money sessions made room for guest appearances from Rick James, Smokey Robinson, MC Lyte, and Teena's daughter Aaliyah Rose, among others. The freely collaborative approach continued with Congo Square, a 2009 Stax release with George Duke, Shirley Murdoch, Howard Hewitt, and Faith Evans all aboard. On December 26, 2010, Teena passed of natural causes. She experienced seizures for 6 years, until a month before her death, after being hit on the head by a falling picture frame while resting in a hotel room. Many anthologies, reissues, and posthumous releases followed. First Class Love, Rarity was published in 2011 as a 2-disc compilation of the pre-debut Motown recordings. Teena's last studio recordings, with finishing oversight from Aaliyah Rose, were released 2 years later as Beautiful. The 2021 album John Morales presents Teena Marie. Love songs and funky beats feature fresh remixes of singles and deep cuts based on the original studio tapes. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song from Teena Marie?